Guys, if you didn't already know, Manscaped now sells beard products. You heard that correctly. Now they're going a step further with their brand new Handyman, an electric face shaver for achieving a clean-shaven look with ease. Whether you're looking to sharpen up your neckline or give your face that smooth finish, the Handyman has got you covered. Right now, you can use the promo code Chael to get 20% off plus free shipping. The Handyman is the perfect combat tool that I can take with me to get that clean-shaven look on the go. Pair it with the Beard Hedger to secure the complete beard care package. This cordless trimmer is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. Say goodbye to all your stubble trouble. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Chael at manscaped.com or just click on the link below. RDA, the hardest working man in MMA. I have never seen anybody that has a schedule like RDA's. Never. Fought the hardest guys at the hardest times in the hardest placements. Multiple weight classes. Main event, go main event, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, title fight, not a title fight. I mean, any way that you want to do it. RDA has had the hardest and most difficult career, not to mention it's apparently not close to over. I mean, what do we assumed a few years ago? Like the light would be dimming. It just does. Anybody else's career, right? It spikes, it gets real hot, and then you start to come back down. He's the main eventer. He's a main eventer tomorrow. This is crazy. RDA, what a stud. And he did a press conference building up for his fight with Luque. And Luque's another one where I feel as though Luque doesn't quite get the right credit. I mean, he had a win streak like few others. He had a win streak that could only be matched within the division at that time by the sitting champion. And Luque, by the way, for my money, was the number 1 contender. And I don't just come to that because I pull a name out of the hat. Luque came through the curtain at 9 a.m. at Madison Square Garden during weigh-ins for the Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman Part 2 and was the backup fighter. So if he's a backup fighter right then, if either one of those guys misses weight, boom, he's in. He fight for the championship. That's what a number 1 contender is. I mean, I'm just sharing for you, like, quite remarkable, quite a difficult match that we're on the eve of. But at the press conference, of all of the interesting things that came up, it wasn't them about each other. It was RDA made a comment that Michael Chandler does not deserve to fight Conor McGregor. Now, that thought, and I don't mean this pertains to Michael Chandler, by the way, but that thought has existed for 7 years. The idea that you deserve to fight Conor McGregor, that thought has existed. I've never heard anybody actually say it. And the closest that's ever said it is Conor himself when he was talking about Red Panty Night. But Red Panty Night is still real. It was real when Conor said it. It's still real now. That is the top draw. That is the guy. That is the match. There's a reason when Charles Oliveira has an opportunity to fight for a world championship, he sidesteps the world championship and puts out artwork that he's going to be fighting Conor McGregor. I can come and tease Charles for doing that. The reality is, yeah, much like RDA said, it's a coveted spot that you work towards. And it's not about championships. And it's not about number 1 contenderships. And it's not about, did you win your last fight? And did you stop this guy? And what's your record out of your last 5? It's not like that. It's about Red Panty Night. It's about having that attention, that level of marketing, that level of focus, that type of intrigue, that big fight feel that every fighter dreams of. Look, this is nothing new what RDA said. What's new is that RDA said it. And I appreciated it. And if we were to really hold RDA to it, if we were to take his words, which are accurate, but if we were to then make them literal, what would you have to do to deserve to fight Conor McGregor? That's a riddle that I don't think you can answer. That's a riddle I don't think that RDA can answer. What is it that you have to do to deserve the Conor match? Do you have to show a level of prowess within the cage? Do you have to show a level of prowess outside of the cage? Do you have to have an ability to do your end of the work and the media and the buildup leading into it? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I don't know. I've known that this is real, and I've known that it was true years before RDA said it, which he only said it a number of hours ago, but I've never had anybody actually say it, not to mention of his caliber. This is a world champion. This is the former world champion who would like to fight Conor McGregor, who, by the way, is the former world champion, who, by the way, is at the same weight class, who, by the way, they were scheduled and supposed to match up with each other. And it got away, and we just let it go. I mean, I give you the reminder that RBA used to be champion and Conor used to be champion. I give you that reminder because some of you are new fans and you don't know that. Some of you are old fans and you have forgotten that. Some of you are new fans and you never knew they were scheduled to fight each other. Some of you are old fans and it slipped your memory that they were supposed to fight each other. I mean, that really was the one that got away. And RDA was such a monster back then. I might be misspeaking, but I believe right when that fight was announced, I believe RDA was the favorite. And even if he wasn't the favorite, it was very tight. But the reason that that's relevant is Conor could have been argued, particularly after the night that he won the lightweight championship. The best performance of his career, $17.2 million gate, Madison Square Garden, opposite Eddie Alvarez. But going into that fight, which would have been him going into the RDA fight, his first time in that weight class, it was believed by people he was too small. And that's very common. We're doing that with Chimaev right now, just by example. You close your eyes, you kind of try to picture how a fight's going to go, and you picture Chimaev one way. Same thing you did with, you picture Conor one way, because that's all that you've ever seen. You haven't seen him with his shirt off. You haven't seen him stand next to a guy you haven't seen after he built into the weight class. Volkanovski was a victim of that. 3-1 underdog, Volkanovski, going into the Islam fight, but only because Volk was too small. Volkanovski, too small? Guy who used to be 96 kilograms playing rugby. I mean, just by example, but it's what your mind does. And it's very interesting. I would love for RDA to finish that thought. What is it you have to do in RDA's mind? RDA has certainly earned the right to an opinion. He would have a very valued opinion, at least by me. But I'd love to know what it is. What does he mean by that? What does he mean that Michael Chandler doesn't deserve fight Conor McGregor? It would have nothing to do with rankings. It's not a title eliminator fight. What exactly would the criteria be within RDA's mind to be the one selected for Red Panty Night?